Hello, everyone, and welcome to the after Sunday service tea time. And I'm glad to present the topic, expanding with God. Granville has shared a very beautiful sermon today. I am really felt connected to this, and I invite Vicky, Emmy, and Gavi to share their experiences, what they received through the sermon. Very beautiful sermon. I can say that everybody who must have listened to the sermon or are going to listen to it later can resonate with very deeply, because everybody who has been access to this teaching or connection with God and going deeper with God, they can highly resonate that how their life has expanded as they have gone deeper with God. So with this, I invite Amy, Vicky, Kevi, whoever feels called to start and share. How did you feel about the sermon today?
Yeah, sure, I can start. Yeah, I really loved it. I really loved everything that Granville was talking about. I feel like I'm currently going through a lot of expansion in my life, and it really just helped to inspire me. I think the thing that I really loved most about Granville was how it seemed like whenever God was inviting him to volunteer for the Church Union, whenever God was inviting him to expand, that he didn't really ever seem to hesitate. He was always really enthusiastic about his expansion, and it didn't really seem like he didn't really seem to have much resistance. And if he did, he very quickly moved through that and saw the bigger picture. So I've got a couple of notes here. So yeah, it just says about whenever he was presented with opportunities, he just trusted that God was giving him the right opportunity and the next piece. And what I really loved about what he was saying as well about it's always safe to ground into and expand into the step that you're on, and then God will show you the next piece. And I also really love what he was saying about God showing him what he was built for. Like God said to him, "This is what you're built for." You know, because Jeff offered him the position in HR, and I think what it brought up for me was that I really just want to ask God, to show me like what I'm built for, to help me to get clear on what my role is in this community and how I can serve God. So they were my like main kind of takeaways from what he was saying.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to take that piece that you said about how Granville really chose to trust God, and every time that he did, it just melted the resistance. And it's the same thing as like faith, like as having faith and choosing to trust God's way for us really just opens up the doors and makes things easier. And the thing that I wanted to mention with this topic that it brought up for me is expanding with God really feels to me like it's the purpose of life, like the purpose of creation. Like God created us so that we can expand with him, so that we can enjoy him, enjoy ourselves with him, and grow deeper and deeper with him. And the beautiful thing is that he gave us choice. Like he gave us that choice to choose to either, it's actually, there is only one choice, and it's to go deeper with God. But the illusion is that we might not, that we can have our own separate choice from God. But in truth, we only ever want to just expand with God. It's natural, it's easy, it's who we are. It's where he's inviting us and calling us all the time. And it's beautiful. I think that more we expand, the more we get to know who we are, and we get to live our life purpose. And yeah, I also choose to surrender and ask God to show me the way as well, and to show me what my design is and my life purpose, so I can expand in it and share in it, and in that way serve God, serve others, love others, expand.
So throughout the sermon, I was thinking about an experience that I had earlier this week. I teach middle school and high school, and we went on a field trip to an amusement park. And there were all these roller coasters, and the kids were inviting me to ride all of the most intense ones. And so I accepted the invitation, I got in, and then as soon as the buckle clicked, right, I felt all this resistance of, well done you, this is how you die. I don't know why you do this to yourself. Like the whole ride up, just sitting in resistance. And then of course, once you get to, the top and that resistance is released, then, you have the wind in your hair and it's beautiful and glorious and you're spinning around and upside down and it's such a fun journey. But when Granville was talking about how like he decided, okay, I'll give a little bit, like I could give a little bit. And then he said, actually, it's not a little bit, like this is your unfolding. That just made me laugh and remember this experience of like when I volunteered for after church tea time, I had felt like the call to do it. And I was like, no, like maybe later. That resistance of like being buckled in, where like I heard the call, I accepted the call, but I was still feeling the resistance to doing it. And then Granville messaged me back and said, okay, so it's this week. Right? That was like kind of the top of the roller coaster where you're like, okay, well, hands in the air, here we go. So yeah, it was beautiful. And he's absolutely right. Like it's always easy and God always guides you the most peaceful way to expand in love. And that really resonated a lot with me and kind of the journey that I've been on.
Yeah, very nice. Beautifully said. The resistances that come, that I cannot do it. Literally, I just cannot trust that if I can really do it, what God is talking through them. But the story, that the way Granville presented his journey from the beginning, the way he has been invited in the situation, not only he has expanded through the work he did or the purpose he did, I could see the energy, like people who connected him to the next piece. Like he was mentioning, Ozen came and introduced me to this. Brian came and did this to me. Chrissy came and did this to me. So it is like, even if today I don't understand completely and I just have a choice that I just want to expand with God, God is going to bring the next piece through somebody. And that is the piece I liked. It is not only that he has expanded his work or his volunteering thing and everything he is putting the love into, he has also expanded the relationship in the community. It felt like he has really connected with a lot of divine soul who are really contributing and expanding the work of God. So that felt really good, that I can also relate in my journey. Beginning is, it was like I was just invited to just do go live on a Facebook. I was actually doing like a host party. I'm not remembering that. So I was like every week just showing up, doing the host party, 2 or 3 people, but I was there. I was just doing that. And then when I was doing that consistently, then the next thing came up naturally. So that is how, we don't know what is the next piece. It is going to come to us through God. God is going to flow through somebody. Because sometimes when we are healing ourselves, we don't clearly see our divine self completely. But when we are surrounded by people who are deeply connected with God, they can see us even before we see that within ourselves. And then they just bring it. Are you ready? And yes, the resistance thing, beautiful example you gave, Gebe. I really like that. I was like feeling that also with you. And yes, always, anytime something new is presented, the resistance is natural, but it is just an resistance. It cannot stop us. It just brought to us so that we can heal, and the expansion is going to be natural and free flowing and just enjoy. Yeah.
I love how it's an invitation from God. God is just always inviting us and just waiting like for the moment till we say, yes, we're ready. Like we're ready to embark in this journey with you. And how it really is just going into who we naturally are already. And it's just, we're just diving into those places like Granville mentioned that we're constricted and that we just limited ourselves and are seeing ourselves as small. But like in reality, like God's wanting us to go there and see like, no, you're not this small being, you're grand. Like we can expand this, we can enjoy this, we can play here, like we can have fun. And yeah, and I also love that example, Gabby, you made about the roller coaster ride. It's exactly what any of those callings feel like. It's like, you know, in your heart, like, I want to do this. Like, I know in my heart, I want to take this ride. And then you put the little belt on and you start to just have a little bit of doubt. And that's when like, we need to be a little bit more disciplined and just say, you know what, like I choose to trust like Granville did and just go all in. I'm just going to enjoy this ride and just release the resistance and not be so tense and enjoy it. Yeah, I'm going to keep that example in mind every time.
Yeah, and I feel like it's about like what you're saying there as well, Vicky. It's like persisting through the resistance. And Gabby, I can so much relate to what you're saying because yeah, I felt the call as well when Granville was talking about Jeff and Shaleia asking the call for more love. Like I really felt that because I felt like I was like perhaps one of the people that had a Church of Union like volunteer role, but was really kind of hiding from that role because I was just feeling like so much resistance around it, and that really helped me just to work through that. And then so I asked God, how can I serve more in this community? And then suddenly all of these pieces like opened up, and I saw Granville's post about after church tea time, and I saw it and I was like, oh, I don't know, but God was like, no, like just do it, just like put your name down. And when Granville messaged me and he was like, yeah, okay, it'll be like 6 to 8 weeks before you have to do the first one. And then he messaged me the other day and he was like, yeah, so Sunday then. I was like, oh, like really, Sunday? And God was like, yep, Sunday, time to expand. So, and then I was like messaging Granville, and I was just saying, Granville, I want to do it, but I just feel like a lot of nervousness around it. And Granville was like, well, do you want to work through that nervousness? And I was like, yeah. And then he just spent like 20 minutes or so just going through a mirror exercise with me. And one of the things that came up was that I was feeling a lot of stage fright around it, and Granville was like, straight to the core, of course, he was like, well, are you on stage or are you just being yourself and serving God? Like, you know what, Granville, like, you're so right. And like, I'm healing through a lot of like drama consciousness at the moment and struggle. And one of the things that I'm learning is that, it's not hard to expand into God. It's just that our ego tells us that it's going to be uncomfortable. The illusion of ego tells us that it's going to be hard, and then we believe it. So it's just making the choice for it to be easy, because it always feels easy to receive more God. It always feels easy to expand, because what Granville was saying as well, which I also love, it's like our natural state. It's like you were saying before, it is just evolution, and that's how God did build us to evolve, and that's just a natural process of ascension. So I also love what you're saying about how he is always guided with choosing the right people for these after church tea times, and that at first he tried to control the situation, but now he just completely that God always guides him to get the exact people that I needed. And yeah, I definitely feel like I'm going through a big piece with expansion at the moment. So yeah, I definitely needed to be here today. So yeah.
Yeah, I can, simply relate with the current experience that I am having. Like whenever it comes to, going live, and that too I have to speak in English, it's like, all these things comes out, whether I am going to say the right words, is the grammar going to be okay, am I getting judged? All that thing is coming up, but I'm just feeling all through that. I'm just saying whatever is, I'm feeling guided. I'm just choosing to hold my peace, and moving through this process is making me feel good, that at the end of it, I received that, every word that I'm choosing is coming, just coming one by one. Even, allowing myself to say those sentences brings me peace, brings me, that connection with God. So this itself is a healing. It's like, every experience is a healing within ourselves. That feels so good. And beautifully he said one thing, even like the activities or the job that he started with, or the piece that he started with, there was a natural order he presented, that, he was able to do the first thing in a very beautiful way, and he felt peaceful. And then naturally the next, higher level of energy was presented to him, and slowly he became the director. So, we don't have to plan for the complete whole picture, even we don't know that. Just investing our energy and doing what is God giving us right at the moment, is all. That's all. That itself is preparing us for the next piece. Not that we have to know the whole picture. We don't know. Even we don't have that mind yet open to see that. So all that we can see is what is given to us. Just do it, enjoy it, and the next step is going to come. Yeah, beautifully like that. And one thing that is coming is like, when you said that, uh, taking that step from the place of peace in the heart, that I really liked. It's not that he just stepped into the space with a, like, any agenda or anything within him, but he followed God within him. In his heart he was like very peaceful. Yes, this is where God has actually prepared me before. It's not like that something out of, like, completely out of nothing is coming out. But yes, there was something God has already prepared me, and today I can, when this piece is presented to me, I can resonate with it, and I feel peaceful, and then I'm moving into it with all my heart into it. I really loved that one. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Like, for me, I really, that's something I want to ground deeper into, like taking my next pieces with peace instead of moving with excitement. Like, I'm used to like this expressing myself and like following where God wants to go, where it feels juicy, but sometimes I get a little carried away with the excitement, like, oh, where I get excited is where I'm going to feel good, but not realizing that there's a little bit of fear that I'm allowing to creep in. But I can still keep that joy and that like interest and inspiration in there. But like, if I allow myself to be grounded in peace, like you mentioned, like it's very important, and it allows me to be stable in my steps. Because like a pattern that I've had in the past is that like I listen to God to what my next step is, but I get excited about it, and I do it from a place of excitement. So it's not very a grounded or eternal step. But I'm learning to enjoy the process of expanding with God in a place of peace, so that it's like an eternal process. It's not something that I'm going to lose later on. If I do it with peace, I can trust that it's going to be something that I'm going to keep with me eternally. And I also wanted to express that, like, for me, life and this expansion is also natural because it's us expressing ourselves. It's expressing God, expressing through us. It's us being the vessel or the channel that God is moving through us, speaking through us, living through us. Like, it's life flowing through us, and expressing feels so good in the manner that we enjoy doing it. And if it's just a matter of like getting out of the way, like, and just allowing ourselves to flow with life. And once we allow to do that, like, the expansion process can be so great. And yeah, fears are going to come up, because that's the whole point of the expansion, is just going to the places where we've limited ourselves or seeing ourselves as small, and just allowing those fears to come up and feeling them, like going through them, and then continuing to express wherever God is calling us next to express. Yeah, I feel very blessed. This is the best first after church tea time for me to have. It's like the perfect lesson. And so I totally agree. This is perfect timing. It feels right for me. And I feel very blessed to be here. And I get a huge message from God, like, at this moment. So feels divine.
Yeah, I really love what you say there, Vicky. And also, I just wanted to add to that piece as well, that something that I've been like healing through recently is like being in this energy of excitement, and living my life from that place, from a place of adrenaline, chasing the excitement rather than grounding into the peace. Like for me, what I've realized is that excitement feels exhausting, but peace feels energizing. And whenever you move forward with God, that's always going to feel peaceful. It's always going to feel good. And when you choose to serve God from that space, he's always going to give you like more than enough energy. Because something that I felt, why I hesitated so much initially around volunteering for the Church of Union, is that I felt like I wasn't going to be supported, you know. But then as I've started to do these volunteering roles, and you know, I'm realizing that it's God, it's always God through you, because you're not supported when you're looking outside of yourself for somebody else or something else to be your source. But God is always your source, and God will always like energize you on whatever it is that you're looking to expand into, because God knows your desires better than you do, and therefore will energize you, you know, in taking that expansion.
Yeah, and I think an important piece with that too is that resistance piece, because a lot of times, like, our mind will tell us, you're too tired to do that right now. You're too tired to heal right now. And just working through that resistance is like where you find that energy. Like, it never fails that, like, the night that I have discussion group or something, I will be exhausted, like dead on my feet. And then like I just choose to like move through it and go to discussion group. And I always just feel like light and energized. And, you know, there's a natural kind of movement of energy that happens when you're like, nope, I decide that I'm going to do this. Like I'm going to work through the resistance. I'm going to heal it, and everything's going to be fine. And something that I've been working through a lot is just like trusting in the process, because like I feel in my heart space, my heart saying, okay, this is what we're doing. And then my head space is like, nope, that makes no sense. Why would you do that? And my heart's like, it's what we're doing. And then my head's like, no, that makes no sense. No, I don't want to do that. And so it's like, but even that energy of like watching that take place, it's just like, my heart's just like, no, like in calm energy, like, no, we're doing this. And it's my head that's like really excited and like, like, no, we're not doing it. But that trust too, like as Granville was saying, the closing prayer, the piece about, I know that you guide me into your heart where I belong. Like, we just have to stay in our peace and trust that everything we're being guided to do is just taking us closer to God and deeper in love. And we can feel good about surrendering to that and just following that peaceful voice instead of the excited voice trying to talk us out of doing all of the things, right?
Yeah, there is also a very beautiful statement he gave, like anytime any opportunity or anything is presented to us, the first thing that comes is, I don't feel good about it. It's not for me. Because, we have an idea, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. But the true thing is, I really don't know what I truly like or what I don't like. But God has that peace, because the truth is, I can only attract, which is, vibrating with my vibration only. So there is no point, when opportunity is presented to me and then all that fear is coming up and I'm flowing with the fear. So, there is no logic there. When we are, grounded in the truth that I can only attract, which is, equal to my vibration. So trust there completely, and then just go into it by knowing that, yes, God knows what is good for me. God knows what is perfect for me. And then I'll just go there and then see how it feels after doing it, rather than, is just get into the party and then decide how the party feels like, rather than just, sitting around, oh, that party is not good. And these are the examples I'm taking. I felt like, Jeff talking to me now. He give this kind of example in the classes. Today also he shared very beautifully that, the way we are ascending together, because our expansion is with each other. That is the beautiful thing also I can see in today's sermon when he presented that he did not expanded alone. He expanded with all the team. Like he expanded with Ozen, with Brian, with Chrissy, with Killy and Colby. He mentioned like everybody helped him to get into that expanded space, and he expanded along with them. And I believe that whoever has helped them and contributed to them must have received the expansion through the expansion of Granville. And that is the beauty, that we expand together. There is a oneness. There is not like that I am going to ascend by myself or I am going to expand by myself. It's not possible. We can only expand and ascend with each other by being together and then creating something that is really massive. And that is what God is trying to create, because every person has that one puzzle piece, and we are putting together and making that big picture coming into the reality. Yeah.
It's so beautiful that it really is a co-creation with God and with our brothers and sisters. And that, like, it's true what you said, God really knows what's in our highest interest and good. And the lovely part is that every time that we heal, we get more clarity about our desires that God has placed in there. And every time that we heal, we can actually co-create with God and with our brothers and sisters. And yeah, I choose to trust God, and I choose to trust like my divinity and my divine self. Yeah. And I love that piece that you mentioned about like union, like that in reality, every time we're healing anything that's separate from us, like any feelings of separation, of conflict, of contrast, of being dissatisfied, anything that divides our consciousness, as soon as we heal it, we're in union with ourselves, with God, with our brothers and sisters. And so this healing journey just, yeah, it's beautiful how it's simple and it's so juicy.
I love what he mentioned as well, about how, when he moved into service, and it's a similar thing, is that I think he was saying about somebody coming to work for him or something like that, but how as he expanded, everything else in his life expanded around him, the people around him expanded. So it's like when you choose to expand in one area, when you go in your vibration, everything else in your life then also has to follow as a natural result. It's kind of like when you work for, when you work through one block, let's say you work through a block on your twin flame journey, that also like correlates with a block that is like in your financial life, or somewhere else, in your life purpose, like nothing is separate. So when you're expanding in one area, you're choosing to expand in all areas. So that was like another thing, that I took away from it. I guess it's not seeing separation from anything. And I guess, Madhu, that's what Jeff was saying. There is like when the team helped him to expand, like it's just like saying, I guess, that we're all one and we all expand together as one. And that's really, I guess, the teaching of unionism. We're all expanding into deeper love together. We're all building the kingdom of heaven on earth.
Yeah, and I love it's really that we're expanding inside of us, like our internal reality, and it's just the external that's reflecting of that. So if we are making that choice to expand within, like our consciousness, automatically the external reality will reflect it. And I love that it'll reflect it in every area, because like there is no separation in any of the areas. It's just an expression of consciousness. That's beautiful.
Yeah, because this is the community where we are, doing the healing in the leading edge. All the best of the healing is available to us. We are expanding the way that people cannot even, think that it is possible. If I just take my example, like, it's not possible for, any normal Indian to think that, I will have a separation to follow my twin flame journey and commit there. But here with this teaching, we are just doing it. It's an expansion we are experiencing with this. And then people are able to, see, oh, this is possible. God is making it happen. This is true. Then, that inspiration is naturally that expansion within their heart is opening. So in our expansion, I do feel that the whole consciousness is expanding. People are now, the way I came across as like opening myself as a divine masculine and transitioning from femininity, I could see there are so many people in India that are really open to expand their masculinity. They're not hesitating in that. So likewise, every aspect in our life, when we're releasing that resistance to our own truth, resisting God, and then allowing God to just flow through us, flow the truth through us, that's all. And then it is peaceful and it is expanded only. The truth feels expanded. It cannot be constricted or limited. That's not possible. And then naturally my life has expanded. Beautiful life, peaceful, and moving towards my harmonious union. So yes, you're in your expansion, the expansion of whole consciousness. So that is how I see expansion with God.
Yeah, I love the emphasis that you put there on resistance, because that's usually a pretty good indication like where that next piece is. Just taking the time to ask yourself, what am I resisting? Or where is this resistance coming from? And following it back, you're probably going to arrive at your next piece. That resistance is kind of the white rabbit, right? You have to follow it back and see where it's coming from, because a lot of times it is an invitation to expand. So really being cognizant of that resistance and paying attention to it as to guide you back into where you belong. The pieces within yourself that are crying for expansion, that resistance will lead you there.
So it's like that resistance is the invitation. Like, come look here. Like, there's more to explore here. Something doesn't feel right here.
Yeah, and one piece that that just came is like sometimes even hearing that expansion feels like, oh, I'm not able to do my stuff right now. What is there? How can I even think about expansion? But the truth is, whatever is happening right now is really uncomfortable, because it is restricted and limited. The expansion is actually the true home, because when I'm expanded, it gives me that peace, that breathing space, so that I can really relax and really experience the true comfort. The true comfort is not here sitting in the restriction and just calling it, oh, this is my comfort zone and all that thing. No, just move through the restriction, and then the home is in the expanded space. It is big, it is abundant.
Yeah, because there is this belief that like safety is like where you're not challenged, where you're not pushed. And so I need to stay here, I'm safe. But in reality, like that's where we need to go and look. Like that's where we're not growing, we're not expanding, and we're just limiting ourselves and staying stagnant. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, because we've got this, belief that like growth, it's going to be hard, or there's a lot of fear around growth because we feel uncertain around it. But when you think about expanding, you're always expanding with God. Like God is the only thing that's certain, because God is the source. So when you think about it like that, like what's actually scary about, as Gabby says, going towards that resistance? There's not actually anything scary about expanding with God or growing with God, because God is the only certainty. God is the only thing that is truly known. So yeah, it's about moving forward from that space.
Yeah, the whole expansion, you're only getting into God only. That is very nicely presented. And yeah, expansion, you're not going anywhere. We're just getting closer to God. Every aspect of our life, when it is expanded, we are going closer to our own divinity and truly recognizing ourselves, who we, the way we are created by God, rather than our limiting belief about ourselves. The more we are expanding, we are not trying to stretch ourselves. Expansion is not stretch. Expansion is truly recognizing and understanding the divine parts of me and just embodying it, being myself truly the way God created me. Simply that is, it is all that the journey is. I'm just recognizing piece by piece because I don't have that ability, and it's not going to be compassionate that I will be able to completely embody my divinity in one night. It's not possible. It's not logical. Yeah, expansion is very peaceful. It happens in a order. It's not like that God will never prepare you and give you something to do it. No, God is always going to prepare you and make you feel that yes, you can do it, and then give you the peace so that you can do it and really enjoy doing it, have fun doing it, and then you expand, and it's a natural and easy process. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I really want to embody that, like life can be enjoyable, like life can be a play, like just playing and creating with God all the time and just allowing him to show me like the next pieces and of the fears that I need to face, and just realizing like fear isn't really real. Like I can just choose to let it go and just see what's underneath that, and it's peace and it's love and joy. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's always God is giving us the peace. So you can simply trust and allow, and also tell God that every time I'm able to do the next piece, I feel good, because I feel like God can rely on me, God can trust me, giving me the pieces. So that also feels me like, yes, I am powerful, I am strong, I'm able to manifest, I'm able to do, in that space I'm able to create rather than collapsing or getting into the contrast. No, I'm every day just expanding, becoming a better person. Anyway, I'm becoming the person that I am created as today. I don't know that complete being of myself also. So yeah, that is it. God is just introducing me to me. That's all. That's my expansion.
Yeah, I really loved when Granville said, God built me for this. And just understanding that there's not going to be an invitation in your life to grow and expand that God hasn't already prepared you for. So that's definitely going on like my list of affirmations. God built me for this.
Beautiful. Me too. That's going to be an affirmation for me. Especially because what's happened sometimes is like, I feel like as I expand, I'm given more, like what Madhu said, like God trusts you more and God gives you more. And sometimes the fear comes up with that, is that I'm going to be given more than I can handle, but I won't. But at the same time, this feeling of responsibility, of having a lot of responsibility comes up. And it seemed like Granville was given a lot of responsibility to manage. But if he's doing it from a place, what he was showing is that it's not no longer him. Like he's doing it for God, he's serving God here, and he's allowing God to lead him, and he's not shouldering all that responsibility and taking it on as something that he has to figure out and do. Instead, just God here, like you lead, you do this, like you do it through me. And I think that's what makes things a lot easier and more enjoyable than like feeling like you're gonna carry burdens and responsibilities and all that. And it's a wonderful piece. Yeah.
Yeah, and something was coming up then just around like the need to remain playful as well, and remain joyful in your service, because that's also the way that God created us. And what I was just really thinking about is, I'm sure it was on Twin Flame Ascension School or something, when Jeff was talking about, like if you look at a child doesn't, when a child is finished with a toy, they'll just kind of move on to the next toy. Like they follow their joy, is what he was saying there. So it's about following what feels joyful to you, because it will feel joyful as well as it will feel peaceful. So it's just remembering that. Something else as well that was just coming up was around when Granville mentioned around healing the consciousness in HR. So I felt like that was really powerful, for me to remember as well, that the importance of the work that we're actually doing here in this community is that, you know, the work of unionism and Jeff and Shaleia is that we healing the consciousness in like every aspect of society, you know, because they've got divine gaming and divine dish and all these other pieces. But I really love what Granville was saying about like healing the consciousness in HR. So I feel like it's really about asking God, you know, where am I called to heal the consciousness in? You know, what are my individual gifts and talents? Like how can I serve, you know, in that way? So I was just remembering that then actually when we were talking as well.
Yeah, like I feel that this journey of expansion and going deeper with God is pretty much unraveling our minds from the way that we've been conditioned in the society. And we all come from so many different backgrounds in society. And so all of us are playing our part to kind of unravel that consciousness that we have in the world and to kind of open it up to what the truth is, like expanding in those areas and bringing love there, where before there was fear and like mistrust and all that. And yeah, beautiful. And I wanted to add on to that piece that you said about life being playful. Like I find that it becomes easier when you become really present with what you're doing and you're able to really feel the feelings. And once you get past all those feelings of like the doubts, the fears, you notice the joy and you notice the peace, and you just want to keep expanding that joy and that peace. And so that's how the play begins, just by being present and realizing that in everything there is like a joy and a peace in the core. So it's just about expanding that, being present with it, allowing everything else to just melt away. And
Yeah, Becky, you know rightly said, first you mentioned about responsibility, and then you know really got flow through, like, you know, it's a play. Yeah, because every piece that you gather into your basket, it's like, you know, you are playing with new things, you know. And in that expanded place, even Granville mentioned that, you know, he gets free support, because every time I also experience that, you know, with whom I am working and who is guiding me into that expanded space. Anytime I'm, you know, in misaligned, I'm not able to move through, I'm really feeling, getting that guidance, I'm getting more clarity. And then that is, you know, adding that piece. You know, I don't have to really just have my healing into the space of coaching only, but through volunteering, I get my healing. I expand, I receive my healing. And volunteering is a space where you can really embody the healing in a very natural way, because you saw something that is a block within me, like I saw something that's a block within me, and that is very clearly visible through the activities that I am doing. And somebody in a God, through somebody, is going to flow to me, so that I can expand only, because constantly God is cleaning all that thing, all this restriction, okay, so that I can flow and really play with it, become expert in it, right? That is how God is preparing me to the, maybe to go deeper with that, or maybe to the next step, wherever God is guiding me to. So it is day by day, it becomes very easy. You know, every time that I do, I clean up all my resistance, clean up all my blocks. It just flows through it, you know, just it becomes productive, easy and simple, so that, you know, I can just do it quickly. And then I'll be, you know, my energies will be available, because I feel good. When I do things without any resistance or any other blocks, it feels good, because it feels like, you know, God just flew through me, and then I feel good, and then I just do something new just to try out. So that is how it feels like when we expand through any volunteering work or anything. Volunteering is a very good space to start with for the expansion, like just to see whether whatever we are healing, is it really embodied within myself, or, you know, I'm still in the process of getting into that space. So just making a choice and really getting into it, even after there are a little bit of resistance, that's okay, it will be healed. It is not at all expect. Just a minute. Sorry, it's my next meeting. So so yeah, I just have to be prepared that I have to go to the next. That's how. And God flows through us, and we are ready to just move ahead. volunteering is a good place to just begin. We don't have to be perfect, to get into doing something. We don't have to judge ourselves. All that we have to honor is there is a desire. God is calling us. All that we have to do is step into it. And then God is going to present us, because God is preparing us. So God will present us, okay, this is the thing that you have to handle today. All that we have to do is just heal that piece and flow to the next step. So that is how. So there is no need to honor or hold on to that resistance, but to just make a choice and heal with the process and expand. Simple. Anybody has any piece here?
That's beautiful. I want to add on to the volunteering with this community. I would call it's divine volunteering. Like, I have volunteered throughout my life in different organizations, but here, like, the pieces that we're all have the same purpose in mind, and the same purpose is healing back to God, healing our consciousness. And so in this community, we're not only just volunteering through actions, we're also healing together, things that come up, and we support one another, and we help to point out to each other like things that we might not see in ourselves. And so it's a beautiful way to go deeper and expand deeper with God, is volunteering and getting closer to the community.
Yeah, the community, presents us healing. It does not criticize. That is the beautiful thing. It helps me. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, this is the healing, and then I'm free. I'm completely free, and I'm doing it by myself. Nobody is pointing it out. Like, it's done out of my consciousness. So that is the beauty of volunteering in the divine space. I would say, in order to expand, the beautiful thing that I can invite everybody is definitely start with volunteering, and then allow God to show you, rather than, okay, I don't feel it good. It's not for me. We don't know. I never knew. I just walked the path with God. And, if you are, you have was the service, Sunday sermon today, he has explained very beautifully how God has took him all through the steps. So you don't know, we never knew. All that we can do is make a choice to expand, and then allow God to present us the pieces one by one in a order that is peaceful and compassionate to ourselves. Any closing comments?
Yeah, I would just love to add to that as well. Something that was around something Granville mentioned around, like, recognizing your expansion is also part of your healing. So looking back at who you were before, and then looking back at everything you've healed through, and seeing actually how much you've expanded. And I guess that also comes back to being present with your expansion. So choosing to give yourself that recognition, because it's not often that we do that, or we appreciate, the journey that we've been on, or the, the seeming challenges that we've overcome, and the level of peace that we're now actually at. So yeah, that was what I just wanted to add, just to always recognize, your expansion.
Beautiful. And that brings us to gratitude and appreciation, which
Absolutely.
Shaleia always mentioned, like, that's how you expand.
Yeah, I'm truly grateful to the community, each and every member who have played in my life to bring this expansion to my experience. And, all my heart, I'm also choosing to be the reason of expansion for somebody else, whoever God guides me to. So with that, I would like to close the session. If anybody has anything to share, we can share. We'll complete. So thank you, everyone. Choose expansion with God. It's beautiful. Life feels easy, and you can just choose to have fun with God. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.